Okay, now we are.
Okay. Yes, I am John Crump. I am the GOA director for the state of Virginia. I'm also a writer, or investigative journalist at MLN.com.
Okay. All right. Now, tonight's incident will be involving what happened to you back over the summer when you shared the, well, we both shared the thing on Kamala Harris's stance on the Second Amendment, and we were both reported as false information. But then you went a step further on the situation and got kicked off.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. Basically, what happened is I got two of my friends, Cam Edwards, who is the editor of Bearing Arms, and Rachel Malone, who writes for the Houston Current. She's also the director of GOA in Texas. What happened was she and Cam both shared articles highlighting Kamala Harris's war on the Second Amendment. Basically, Kamala Harris wrote an amicus brief during the Heller investigation, the Heller case, Supreme Court case. Dick Heller, also a friend of mine, and so uh, she submitted an amicus brief stating that the right to bear arms is not an individual right and only applies to a state-run militia, basically the military, which is categorically false. But they wrote about that amicus brief and other decisions that she made in California. A French press agency called the AFP, which is a French government funded press organization, which its board members are made up of French elected officials. Um, they decided that that was fake. So uh, all their stuff was put with an overlay that if you try to click on it, it would take you to the AFP website, which saying, "Hey, this is fake news." The funny thing is, it never really said why it was fake news because it wasn't fake. It was both articles were well sourced. So uh, I posted the amicus brief. It was the idea of my attorney, Rob Olson, Robin Bull Olson, their father and son, super lawyers. I posted the amicus brief with no context, just the amicus brief, and that was marked fake. So I started doing some research into who the AFP is, and that's when I found out that they are tied to the French government and all this other stuff. So what I did was I started writing an article. I some went to I emailed the press wing of Facebook and asked for a comment about allowing foreign election interference. What I got was no response, but they did remove the false labels, but they also banned me from the platform for life. So what happened was, with the help of GOA, my attorneys, the Olsons, filed an FEC complaint on Facebook. John, are you muted? John, you muted. Muted. There you are.
Sorry. I'm glad to see that happen. It's time they are held accountable for their actions.
Yeah, and since then, a bunch of other people have jumped on the bandwagon and have used the FEC complaint that I filed with the help of GOA. Use that to file their FEC complaints. This is Anna Paulina in Florida. This is a bunch of different places that filed it. New York Post filed it. So basically, we were the first. Amalan, Gun of America, and I were the first to file it, and now everyone else has taken our lead. But I got to give credit to my attorneys, Bill Olson, Jeremiah over there at the Olson law firm, Rob Olson, and all the partners. There's tons of lawyers over there, so we have a whole legal team working on this.
Good. Now, can you explain why everyone will think, well, you're supposed to be talking about the Second Amendment freedom? Why is this connected to the Second Amendment? And why is being kicked off Facebook really a big deal to the Second Amendment?
Because Facebook has over 2 billion users, and they are really the public square. Uh, they were trying to hide Kamala Harris's record on the Second Amendment because with gun owners, Biden and Harris, they want to take your guns, but Facebook wants to portray them as pro Second Amendment, which is the farthest thing from the truth. So it was a donation in kind, not of money, but of actual blocking content that is damaging to a candidate. So it was a donation to a anti-gun candidate who wants to take our gun rights. And it's not just me saying that. Look at their plan. They're gonna, ban the manufacture of so-called assault weapons and grandfather the ones in, but you have to pay a $200 tax stamp for each AR or each magazine, or you have to turn them into the government and sell them to the government for a small pittance of what they're actually worth. It's not that's not pro Second Amendment, and that's anti Second Amendment. They want to make Beto O'Rourke, the guy who said that hell yes we are coming for your gun, are on guns. Come on, that's why it has to do with Second Amendment. Plus, the Second Amendment is a right, and as Americans, we have to stand up for all rights, and that is the right for freedom of the press, the right of freedom of speech, and everything else.
Right. So, for example, I seen something where it goes how Biden's tax plan on guns would work on making you register your AR-15s and stuff like that under the NFA. My response to that was, I'm not going to register my guns or magazines.
I'm
I'll
not
just
gonna.
defy that law.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do either one. It would be impossible for me. I got over 1,000 30 round magazines, and I have probably close to 150 ARs. I mean, I would be spending nearly 200, probably 230, uh, like $230,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that
And,
ain't worth.
so no, I'm not gonna do it. But they're
No.
not gonna come. They're not gonna come after me. That's the sad thing. They're not going to come after me. They will ignore me because I'm connected. The government will ignore me because I have really, really powerful attorneys, and I have a multi-million-dollar organization that that will back me up. I have some of like the best constitutional lawyers in the country, so they're not going to go after me because that would be very bad. Who are they going to go after? Is people who are not connected, people who have no connection. That's who they would go after. So they would just ignore me, pretend like I don't exist because they don't want to have that legal fight. But other people, they would go after. I had this conversation with my attorney. I was talking to my legal team this morning, and I was like, yeah, the reason why this is so important is not because they're going to come after me, because they won't. They won't come after you guys either. I mean, they're going to go after like John Q. Public, who goes, uh, you know, to work every day in a grocery store, or someone who doesn't have the power to fight back, and someone who's not doesn't have the voice that I do, the platform. And that's one thing of Facebook; they deplatform me. Not only that, not only did they kill my public page, but they also killed my private page too, which was uncalled for. So I told them I was gonna basically make sure that they don't do this, because if they're gonna do this to me, they're gonna do this to other people too. So I will fight back. I'm a former Facebooker. I worked at Facebook, and I saw what it's like inside. That's the reason why I left Facebook. When I left Facebook, I just started doing my investigative journalism because it pays a lot less. I walked away from a very, very, very high paying job at Facebook.
The money ain't worth it. Uh,
No, it wasn't worth
no,
it. So
you
I
got.
walked.
I mean, the pay was good, but to work for a company that would silence people like you and me because of our beliefs, it's better to find a job where we can work together with people that we don't necessarily 100% agree with, but they still respect us somewhat.
No, it's like at Facebook. Here's the thing about Facebook. They honestly believe that they're not biased, and that's because they live in the little bubble called MPK, Menlo Park, which is in the Silicon Valley, next to Mountain View and all the other places. I worked for Silicon Valley companies my whole entire life, basically, and what I've come to find out is that most of these companies view themselves as middle of the road because they are middle of the road in Silicon Valley, but Silicon Valley is like the far left of everywhere else in the country besides maybe Portland.
Wow.
I mean, it's really funny. If you look at the internal pages, you'll be surprised at how many people on their internal profile pictures have pictures of uh, for example, pictures of uh, like Marx and Lenin and all these and Che.
Stalin,
No,
but
I
they
didn't
don't.
see too many Stalin, but I saw a
Uh,
lot of Marx, Lenin, and Che though.
yeah. But that's just sad, and all these people think what socialism is we all get equal pay, we're all equal. There's nothing wrong with it. I've seen what communism and socialism have done in the past, and I don't want our country to go that way. But states like New York, California, Illinois, nice states, but they're completely socialistic.
Well, yeah. If you talk, Dr. Miguel Faria is one of my close friends, and he escaped from Cuba. Tank from Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. Use code Crumpy for 10% off. No, but Uncle Sam's Misguided Children. They own a tank. He escaped from Cuba, and he lived under communism. If you look at his shirts, you can tell that's why he's not communist. I have a friend named Panette, who's also my dentist, but he was my friend from childhood. He grew up in Cambodia. Well, I didn't grow up in Cambodia. He lived in Cambodia when he was younger. During the killing fields, the Khmer Rouge killed his whole family, besides his parents and his grandparents and
You
his
got
sister.
wait, Pol Pot's regime? You mean?
Yeah, get this. And the camp that he was in, there originally was just under 1,000 kids, like 900 and some kids in this camp. Out of the 900 and some kids, only three walked out of there. Him, his sister, and one other kid.
Oh my god!
900 and some kids were killed in that camp, and only three of them survived. And they survived because they escaped.
Wow.
And they probably would have not, you know. So I've seen social. I've been to Eastern Europe. I've been to a lot of Eastern Europe. In 1985, there was a Russian defector who gave a stunning interview.
I've seen that video.
Yeah, I have it up on my YouTube page with like some overlays and stuff like that. And it's 100% true. He was so right on the money, and the time frame even matches. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, these kids today in schools and colleges that are being brainwashed. There's kids who grew up in conservative towns, conservative homes, who are now starting to believe what socialism is, and they have no idea what the real history is. They don't teach it.
Yeah, go to Eastern Europe. Go to the Czech Republic. I spent time in Eastern Europe, and I can tell you those people. There's reasons why they still build statues to Ronald Reagan in Eastern Europe. It's because that's how evil socialism was and is. Tell the people in North Korea how socialism is no big deal. All the people in Venezuela that are eating freaking like zoo animals. Tell them socialism is a good thing. Guess what? It's not. It never has been. It never will be.
No, well, in fact, I've seen images of World War II towards the end of our German civilians fleeing from the Russians advancing and then like eating dead horses just to get food. It was
Well,
shocking.
well, not only that is they were trying to make it to the U.S. line because they didn't want to live under socialism.
No,
Um, Socialism can only work by a authoritarian government. So if you're like there's no such thing as democratic socialism. Democratic socialism always devolves into dictatorship, and
right.
people have to realize that democratic socialism is a misnomer. It is a myth. It does not exist. And even if it did exist, it's still it's still not a good thing.
No,
You,
it's not.
you know, my labor no man I owe my labor and my goods to no man and no man owes me his labor or his goods unless we both enter into a mutually agreeable agreement. Like I say, hey, I'm gonna give you something, you fix my car. Yeah, that's great. If I put a gun to your head and say, fix my car, you know what that is? That's slavery. That's not.
That's right. There's a video, and I seen it from I think it was Tactical Toolman's channel. It's called "The Secret History of Disarmament" on YouTube. It's a documentary of what's happened in the past from the Ottoman Empire all the way through the 80s on how people throughout the past have disarmed their citizens, including here in America.
One of the biggest donators to anti-gun causes in the 80s was like the World Workers Party and stuff like that. Soviet front groups, and they pumped tons of money into trying to get into the anti-gun movement to try to take away our guns because there's no way. It's like the role of Japanese saying about America during World War II. Behind every blade of grass is a rifle.
And during that time, I think the state of Wisconsin had over like 600 permits for hunters during that time. Over 600 licensed to hunt. So you knew if they tried that, they'd get screwed.
Well, right now there is more guns in America than there's ever been. I I was reading a study today that said California has increased the number of guns since June by 100,000 firearms since freaking June.
Wow, that's awesome. What we need
57% are first time gun owners.
what we need to do is get people out in California like Reno May. You ever see his channel?
Yeah, Rito's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. We need to get people like him out there to talk to these new gunners and tell them why voting Democrat is not a good thing. Even if they're Democrats, you need to tell them, look, you might not agree with Republicans, but look what's happening now under the Democrats. I mean, you're seeing what we have to go through out here in California to get a gun. Maybe you could kind of understand, like, maybe not stay 100% Republican, but realize at least I have a better chance at getting some of these illegal laws repealed and maybe getting it easier to get a gun. In fact, they had some hearings, I believe, yesterday and today on Miller versus Becerra, but they're still fighting that out there.
Miller versus Becerra, we're not gonna. I guess they're gonna. It's gonna be continued on Thursday,
Yeah,
and then a ruling might come out Friday at the earliest, most likely next week. It's Judge Benitez is the actual judge up there. They call him Saint Benitez in California.
yeah, because he
His
knows
last
what's
name.
right.
Yeah, and then it's gonna go to the ninth, and the ninth used to be very left leaning anti-gun. They used to be called like the wacky
The Ninth
circuit, but
Circus. Ninth
yeah,
Circus.
but that's it's not like that anymore, and that's because of Trump.
Yeah.
All those judges got old and retired during the last 4 years, so now it's actually not that anti-gun anymore. The Fourth Circuit is now the like the wacky left circuit, which
Is the
unfortunately covered Virginia.
is the Fourth Circuit the one that made that ruling that magazine restrictions were constitutional, or was that the Third Circuit?
That was the Third Circuit. The Fourth Circuit, the Fourth Circuit's a lost cause.
Uh,
You,
so
you're under a pretty good circuit in Ohio. In fact, that's where Gun Owners of America's bump stock case is. And I'm hearing that there's going to be a whirling coming out of that pretty shortly. That and also in the 10th Circuit, I'm hearing that there's going to be a whirling coming out
where's the
on
Tenth
bump stock.
Circuit at?
Lake Florida.
Good. We need to start seeing some more of these cases get overturned. I never thought Ohio was in the. You said the sixth, right?
What's that?
The state I'm in is Ohio. What circuit am I in? You said the
I thought it
sixth.
was. I thought it was the fifth.
Ah, because I thought the case was up in Michigan.
No, Michigan. There is a case in Michigan, but the case in Michigan is has to do with concealed carry permits and if they can be used in lieu of the next check.
Wow.
So that's up in Michigan. Our bumps that there might be a bump stock case up there. I know there's a bump stock case in the 10th, and there's one in the 5th.
Well, that's good. I hopefully we can get the bump stock case overturned and people. Like I said, I personally never want a bump stock, but don't want to see them like removed. People have the right to own it.
Honestly, from what I'm seeing out of the 10th and also the 5th, I'm very, I would say confident because the courts are really weird. Anything can happen. You can think you have a very good feeling about it, and it'd be bad. But the signs are looking good for us. And if you look at like, even the antis are putting out, if the sign that they know the signs are looking good for us. That's not to say that it could be like a totally different decision, what everyone thinks it's going to be. But
Right.
I like our chances. I am optimistic in both circuits. In fact, I think the fifth is going to go. From what I'm being told, the fifth will be decided first, and then the day after, the 10th is going to release it, and they're going to basically mirror each other.
Perfect.
Without saying too much else, I mean that's all I can say right now.
Okay. Do we know if Amy Coney Barrett has been officially confirmed to the Supreme Court yet?
No, she's not confirmed. They were not to use some type of tactics to slow it down, but there will be um at the earliest because all the tactics that they're doing it will be at the earliest early next week but it's probably be around the more like the 30th.
We need to get her on soon. Because from the stuff I read, she's extremely pro 2A. Maybe we could start seeing a lot of illegal laws get overturned, like the Hughes Amendment.
Well, she's extremely constitutionalist.
That's good.
I would say she's what's known as a constructionist. That means that she believes in the Constitution is not a living, breathing document because you have two different camps. You have the originalists or constructionists, whatever you want to call them, and they believe the Supreme Court is the law of the land. It's not bendable. It's not malleable. It doesn't change with time. It is what it is. The right to bear arms shall not be infringed means the right to bear arms shall not be infringed.
That means
no matter if it's now or back then.
Yeah.
The other camp is that thinks that they're called the living document people. They believe that the Constitution should be interpreted for its time. So they believe that they can look and try to determine what the founding fathers would want now if they knew everything that was going on now, which is a fallacy because you can never know that for one thing. But even if you did, even if you could, I'm pretty sure from reading, I've read a lot of the Federalist Papers, Anti-Federalist Papers, Madison, Jefferson, Washington, almost. Well, Washington didn't really write that much, but Madison, Jefferson, Adams.
The
I've read
founding
all those guys.
fathers. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now there was a case.
Franklin.
There was a case back in the day that was determined. It was Mulberry versus Madison, basically saying that if a law is unconstitutional, it's therefore null and void.
Yep.
So under that, we should just be able to just go buy rocket launchers and make our own guns without any ATF stuff. But
yeah, but
yeah,
the NFA is also null and void. The tax stamp thing should be null and void too because of Murdoch versus Pennsylvania.
right.
But yet Murdoch versus Pennsylvania said that you cannot pit a direct tax on a right.
That's right. But if anyone's watching this and think of calling ATF, I'm not going to break the law. I'm just saying what that case said. That's all.
ATF doesn't really like me. So if I'm on your
Yeah.
show, ATF themselves are probably watching right now because ATF. Hi, Marvin. Hi, Regina. Because they've all had meetings about me. So whatever.
Is Marvin and Regina the two who were in charge of the Boston branch that issued the recall on the honey badger?
No, they're in charge of the whole freaking ATF.
So they're in the federal office in Washington.
Yeah, the acting director and acting assistant director. I burned them both recently in articles and with leaks. So, I'm sure they wouldn't come after me, but
Yeah.
Well, I know because I got leaks about that too, Marvin. So I know exactly what you said about me. So whatever.
Okay, then another thing which I did tell you earlier on Facebook was that there was another guy with a gun in Kenosha right before that shooting took place. And I shared something where the prosecutors there want to drop the charges against that guy, but put all the blame on Kyle for defending himself.
Yeah, it is what it is. Kyle Rittenhouse is going to get off because
yes,
he has to. I mean, it's just there's no way those charges are going to stick. What they're going to do is they're going to wait and then drop them. I guarantee it.
Well, I mean, I'm glad Illinois dropped the charges at least, but they're still waiting on extradition orders to Wisconsin.
Well, Illinois, he didn't really break any laws in Illinois.
No,
he didn't cross the border. He didn't. The AR was always in Wisconsin. That AR was never in Illinois. He never drove across the border with a firearm. He never had a firearm in Illinois. So Illinois had nothing to prosecute him on.
Right.
So I mean, but that's just the way it is.
Then of course the McCloskeys were indicted, so that's BS.
They gotta get off that too.
Yeah.
In St. Louis, in order to be brandishing with what they were charged with, you have to have a working firearm, and by the police examination themselves, neither firearms were functional. And not only that, the prosecutor asked the police to fix the firearms to make them functional, and the police said no. So,
actually, I think it was just the pistol was the one that said that didn't work. I don't know about the rifle, but they said they wanted the pistol redesigned to fire so that way they could be charged.
Yeah, but they're gonna drop the charges in that too. It's mob mentality. They just charge them,
right?
Just to quail the mob, and then when the stuff calms down, then they will dismiss it.
And the governor of Missouri even said he'd come out and pardon them, and so did the president.
Yeah.
Yeah, they and we just got this big fight ahead of us, and we just went over some stuff. Your situation, Kyle's case, the McCloskeys, the different cases going through different circuits. And this is the biggest fight we've ever had.
Yeah, I voted today, so I waited an hour and a half in line to vote, but I voted.
Yeah, well, I'm off Thursday. We were gonna go. Me and my family were gonna go the day of the election to vote, but there's been rumors of a spike in COVID here in Ohio, so we're gonna vote early and get that out of the way.
Yeah, I went ahead and voted. It was pretty easy.
Well, you know, whoever wins this election, it's going to be screwed up because if Biden wins, you know, the Americans will refuse to comply with any of his laws, and if
Now
Trump and if Trump wins, there's been reports of threats being made to start violence throughout the country. So either way, like we talked about a month ago, or was it back near the end of August on the next Civil War? We're right on the edge. It will just take something to start it.
yeah, unfortunately, I think you might be right.
Yeah, and right now I don't have time to use go out and target shoot so I can save the ammo. So why not play some Call of Duty or Battlefield to get training?
Yeah. Well, I got a Blackbeard, a Mantis Blackbeard, which is awesome. It's a good way to from to save on ammo. Basically, it basically replaces your bolt carrier and charging handle,
Okay.
and also so you put that in there, and then you take the magazine. The magazine you stick in there is actually a battery pack, and it simulates firing.
Oh, okay.
So every time you pull the trigger, a little laser goes off, and you have the laser tracking thing, and it resets the trigger, so you actually have a trigger break every single time.
That's pretty good.
So yeah, it's a really cool invention. I really like it. It works very well for me, and it saves on ammo, especially now in this COVID era.
You know what I like about buying surplus guns right now over ARs and stuff?
What's that?
At least the ammo's still available for like your Lee Enfields and Mausers because everyone wants the 223, 556, and 9 mil.
Yeah, that is definitely true. I got a new AR coming in. It's kind of like a Honey Badger clone type thing. By Liberty Bell Firearms. And SB Tactical sending me some stock. I'm gonna do some videos with it to show you how stupid the ATF is,
Yeah.
and things that will get you into trouble.
Yeah, just loopholes around the NFA and stuff like that.
No, but like stuff like the Honey Badger things, like different
Yeah.
things that a company can do that will make a uh, a uh, a AR pistol, a
SBR, if
an
you
SBR
touch
of an
the. Yeah. I mean, it's bogus. Well, the whole thing started with the Dayton shooting last year when the shooter had that AR pistol, he had a brace on it. That's one thing that kind of started this whole nonsense with how braces work.
No, it was actually, like according to, I mean, it goes back way before. It goes back to like 2015, 5 years. And then when they were getting ready to move on them, Trump got elected. Then in 2017, Marvin Richardson tried to kiss up to Trump by doing the braces, but to go say, okay, you can shoulder braces now. That was a kiss up move. But when Trump didn't really show interest in the ATF or didn't show interest in making him the director, he went totally against that. So actually, the 2017 was a bad year. Then 2019, before the Dayton shooting, I was hearing that everything that happened was coming down. Um,
Wow.
yeah, to Q and to the other companies that were served by cease and desist letters.
See, I never heard any of that until after the whole thing with the honey badger came out. The only thing I remember was after Dayton, I knew the braces were a topic, but not before then.
Oh yeah, yeah. I've been tracking the whole thing with internal ATF documents since like 2015.
Wow, that's shocking. I mean, ATF said you can have a brace on an AR pistol, but if you touch it to your shoulder, it's an SBR. I mean, that
That
doesn't
was
make sense.
that was back in 2015. Yeah, here's the crazy thing, right?
All right.
So certain braces, ha, ATF said you have to have an elastic strap on there, and it has to be made out of rubber. Certain braces, they said you don't need an elastic strap, and it can be made out of plastic. There's no standard. It's who you get.
Right. Well, I mean, go back to 92 at Ruby Ridge. After that shooting, that sniper got off the hook, and guess who was in charge of the time who got him off the hook for killing Randy Weaver's wife and son?
Janet Reno?
No, she was, I think she was head of the FBI. This is
No, not
ATF.
DOJ.
Oh, DOJ? It was William Barr.
Yeah, Wayne Barr ATF, Janet Reno with DOJ, but yeah, that was definitely interesting. Yeah, it was definitely interesting. Barr's not exactly the most pro 2A, but he's a lot better than whoever Biden would put in there.
Oh, yeah. I
Right
mean, took,
now, right now, Trump has never got an appointee into the ATF. So right now, the Regina who runs the ATF is, they're all bureaucrats. They're all like former like Obama people and stuff like that. Trump never
oh,
got his
yeah.
people into the ATF. That's why we got to change that. We got to win, and then we have to change that. So, what do you
That's
think
right.
about the new information that came out that looks like Hunter Biden might have had CP on his computer?
CP.
Yeah, I don't want to say it because I don't want to.
Oh, I didn't hear that. I just knew he lost his laptop
No,
because he was too high on crack.
that just broke.
I did not see anything on that.
Yeah, it broke a couple hours ago.
Wow.
Hmm.
Well, I tell you what, if Trump wins, I hope he goes after a lot of these corrupt officials. I know we were hoping for that after his first term, but he was being attacked. Hopefully, after the impeachment hearings, um, I think now he's getting ready to get a lot of stuff put together to go after, hopefully, a lot of these corrupt officials on both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. One thing when it comes to gun control in Ohio, two of my local district reps, and one of them you might have heard of real well. I usually call to get them to oppose the bills, and usually I hear back from their secretaries. They are Jim Jordan and Craig Rydell.
Yeah. Jim Jordan's not bad though.
No, he's not. Jim Jordan, I'm glad he's in our district because whenever it comes down to stuff, I can call his office and he opposes all these laws that are coming down.
Jim Jordan's a GOA member.
That's good. I've been telling people about GOA. There's a couple who come into where I work at McDonald's, and he's a lifelong NRA member, and I've told him about GOA and stuff, but he doesn't know how big is the organization, how many members do you have, and how hard you guys fight.
We are the second biggest organization. We have a few million members, and we get a lot more done than most. Other organizations.
That's because, unlike the NRA, I mean, you guys will fight to repeal basically any law you can.
Well, yeah, we believe that we don't believe in compromising. We believe the NFA should. Someone asked me the other day, uh, what did they say? They're like, so I can't believe it was on Facebook. Whatever. I can't believe that you should that you would think that the average citizen should be able to buy a machine gun. They're like, you wouldn't buy a machine gun, would you? And I wrote, if it was up to me, this is what I would buy as my everyday commuter car to work. And I posted a picture of a AC-130 gunship.
Yep, that would
Yeah,
be me.
it was a video, the Angel of Death video where they show, where you makes like a angel thing for shooting off their like anti-aircraft,
Oh,
their anti-SAM stuff.
yeah.
If I posted that video, I'm like, this is what I would drive to work if I had my way.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't want a machine gun, but who says I want them banned? I want them to be legal for people to own if they want them.
Dude, I want machine guns.
Same here. Just under personal choice, I'd prefer semi-auto to conserve ammo and be more accurate. But heck, if I want to do a couple mag dumps, give me like an AR-15 redesigned to shoot full auto.
There is a company. I don't think I can. I don't think I could say anything quite yet. But there is a company out there. It's a new company. Um, they are building a transferable 1919, or fixing a transferable 1919. You know what that is?
Browning is basically the American equivalent to the MG42 heavy machine gun, like one that would lay down covering fire.
They are going to gift it to me. It's a fully transferable
Awesome.
for my
That
fight. For my second, for like the stuff I've done for the Second Amendment. They said, we're sourcing the parts to fix it right now, but it's yours. I'm like, I can't afford a 1919. They're like, no. They're like, for your fight and all the stuff you've done for the Second Amendment, we want to gift it to you.
very good on them.
And a 1919, that's not a cheap piece of equipment.
That was a really good gun too. 30 caliber, or is it the 30-06 full caliber?
I think I don't even know. To tell you the truth, but I want to roll into the range with that and set it up. Like,
Yeah. Oh, man. I mean, look what we got. It's almost gone on an hour. We got through important stuff, and now we're talking about the fun stuff.
Yeah, I have to take off soon because there's some 3-1 run of some news show where they actually talked about my FEC case.
Good.
Fox News on Tucker Carlson to replay you in 5 minutes.
Okay. And are you ready for Saturday since you're speaking online at the 2A rally?
Yeah. I'm not gonna actually watch it. I want to be out in the woods.
So,
Cub Scout.
Okay, but how's it going?
It's all pre-recorded.
Okay. Oh, it's already recorded?
Yeah, everyone submitted their stuff.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like a live video where everyone talks.
No, it's all going to be pre-recorded. I know they're going to do live stuff there with like Rob and stuff like that. And I know a lot of the people. I will be in the comments for a little while.
Okay. Yeah, I took this Saturday off because I was hoping to get on it like when it was live and make comments.
Oh yeah, there's tons of people. A lot of the speakers are going to be in the comments.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
I will be in for a little while, but not the whole thing because we have a Cub Scout thing. It's our yearly camping thing.
All right, that's one thing I want to do is I want to go camping out in the country. and just and see what it's like to live off the land in case something were to happen. But like we said on that video, we want to avoid the conflict, but I don't know if we will be able to.
Yeah, oh, we will see.
Yeah, and here's another small group of people I would like to get on my show too. Guns and Gadgets, Military Arms Channel, and FPC, both Matt and Craig.
Yeah, there's some cool guys. Guns and Gadgets, I don't see it happen for a while at least.
Yeah, he just had surgery.
Yeah, he just had back surgery. I talked to him today, and he's still in some pain.
Yeah. How's your niece doing?
Oh, not as good of it. It's not good, but
I'm sorry, man.
yeah, it's all right.
Yeah. Well, looks like I'm gonna get ready to let you go. Tell people how they can find you.
Just go to crumpy.com, crumpy.com, and you can find me, all my links there, all my social medias, and my YouTube channel and everything, which is John Crump 2 on YouTube. But just go to crumpy.com. All my articles are posted there. Anything that involves me is now posted there.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on. I'll have you on again here real soon.
And thank you for having me on.
No problem.
Good more. All right.
That's right. Well, take care.
All right. Talk to you later.
See you.